We know the pecking order is going to be Flacco, and then we get Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur coming into the game third. John, are we reading into any tea leaves here too much, or is this just another opportunity to separate the competitors from the entertainers?
Well, who knew we would be talking about a competition between the third quarterback on the depth chart and the fourth quarterback on the depth chart? But this is high drama in Cleveland right now. This is absolutely a big situation. This gives both quarterbacks, because yes, they both played in the preseason, but we have not seen them both play in the same preseason game. So this gives each guy a chance to kind of take a step ahead of the other guy. If you're Shedeur Sanders and you go out and play well against the Rams and Dillon Gabriel kind of struggles, that's a great argument for you to move up the depth chart heading into week one. And of course, we know that Kenny Pickett's injured, won't be playing tonight, but maybe Kevin Stefanski watches this game and says, you know what, maybe one of these guys, one of these rookie quarterbacks needs to be the backup, the number 2 guy heading into the regular season. So they're, even though this is the third preseason game and they're not going to be starting on Saturday against the Rams, there is certainly a lot of pressure on each of these guys to perform well against the Rams.
Yeah, Breach, it'll be interesting to see how they view Kenny Pickett, because he has been banged up and hasn't played all preseason. And when you look at it, to me, this comes down to the backup role between Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. You already mentioned it. Dillon Gabriel will go in first, and people will make bones about what the depth chart looks like currently. But you got to remember, Dillon Gabriel was a third-round pick, so he's going to get the advanced chance to potentially become the backup before Shedeur will. And you see Shedeur Sanders' numbers versus the Panthers. To Breach's point, he didn't play in the second preseason game versus the Eagles because he had an oblique strain during that cross practice with them. So this is an opportunity for both of these young guys in this third and final preseason game. They'll probably both get a quarter and a half each of gameplay to really go out there and solidify themselves and show Kevin Stefanski, if you need to call my number, I am ready. You can't worry about when you're getting your reps. You have to take full advantage of when you get your reps. So if you're Shedeur, if you're Dillon Gabriel, this is your opportunity. We haven't seen Kenny Pickett. Could he not be on the roster when the season starts? Could he be a trade guy? We don't know, but you have a full opportunity in front of you in this third preseason game to solidify and let your head coach know, if you need me, you can call upon me and I'll be ready to go.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That is a age-old saying in sports. Elsewhere in this Browns rookie class, guys, still no pen to paper for the second round running back Quinshon Judkins, and now the Browns look like they're kind of taking action, potentially looking to bring in some reinforcements in the backfield. When you look at the depth chart in Cleveland, guys, you've got Jerome Ford as well as the 4th rounder and Dylan Sampson currently listed. Lige, what do you make of Cleveland's running back situation? So much emphasis has been put on the quarterback room here, but they got to be able to run the ball as well.
Well, they attacked the draft at the running back position, which lets you know they feel like there was a need there. And Quinshon Judkins was the guy that went in the second round, and he's dealing with some legal issues right now. And obviously, Jerome Ford has been the starter, or the off and on starter, the last couple of years. You talked about Dylan Sampson going in the 4th round. A guy I really like, Pierre Strong. Now, people will talk about that quarterbacks running back exchange versus the Philadelphia Eagles and that fumble, but he currently leads the Browns in rushing yards throughout the preseason. But to your point, Haley, could they be in the market for a guy like Brian Robinson from the Washington Commanders? Could they be in the market for a guy like Donovan Edwards, who's the number 4 running back for the New York Jets? They could be in that market depending on what happens with Quinshon Judkins. But I know that a lot of people on that staff really like Pierre Strong. So they could go into the season with the current backs they have and then wait for the thing to play out with Quinshon Judkins, but they also could be in the market for one of these other running backs.
First game of the regular season, Browns versus Bengals. So you got to be ready to go for that one. Let's go to the other side of the matchup, though, guys. When it comes to the Rams, there's no question when it comes to their quarterback situation. Barring a setback with Matthew Stafford, he's going to take on year 17 as the starter. We know we haven't seen much of him this preseason, but Sean McVay has assured us that he feels good about Stafford going forward. John, how confident are you, though, that he's going to be ready to go and able to handle the season with as limited reps as we've seen?
Haley, my confidence is about a 4 right now, and that's mainly because Matthew Stafford didn't sound confident. He was literally asked on Thursday, hey, look, are you going to be ready to play in week 1? And his answer was, I'm not going to answer questions like that. So when you are 15 days away from your opener and the starting quarterback can't even answer a question about whether he's going to start in week 1, that is mildly concerning. So that's where the Rams are. Stafford's only been practicing for a week. He missed almost all of training camp due to that back injury. And back injuries are just so mysterious. They can flare up at any point. He could take an awkward hit. He could be jogging off the field at halftime and it flares up. So it just makes it tough to kind of project what the Rams are going to do, because you have no idea if Matthew Stafford is going to be out there for 17 games. So just based on the nature of the injury, it makes me hard to be confident in the Rams. I do think if Matthew Stafford plays all 17 games, this team is absolutely a Super Bowl contender. I'm just not confident he's going to be out there for all 17 games.
It's a big if, right? And to your point earlier, John, you did mention that the starters won't play for LA tonight. In fact, the next 3 names on the depth chart will not play a lot at the quarterback position. We'll see a lot of Dresser Wynn as he competes for a spot. So get to know that name, though. But, John, when you think about Matt Stafford, right, you said if he can play in all 17 games, the Rams are going to be okay. If he can't go, we know what we have in the backups. We've got Jimmy G and we've got Stetson Bennett and Dresser Wynn here. How does that confidence kind of change, or what's your opinion on the quarterback situation with the Rams?
Well, even if Stafford's out, the Rams still have Sean McVay, who is one of the smartest offensive minds in the NFL. So that is the plus side. And then you look at Jimmy Garoppolo. If he has to play, it kind of feels like a double-edged sword, because Jimmy Garoppolo is a top 5 backup in the NFL. We've already seen him take the 49ers to the Super Bowl a few years ago. But the downside is he's kind of made of glass. The guy gets injured a lot. So if he goes out, then you're stuck with your third-string quarterback in Stetson Bennett, who has never taken a regular season snap in the NFL. So if Jimmy Garoppolo is forced to play, I think this team can be competitive. Maybe they go from Super Bowl contender with Matthew Stafford to wild card contender with Jimmy Garoppolo. But when you look at the receivers on that team, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams at running back, it's a pretty loaded offense. So I think a good quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over can have success in that offense. But once you get down to the third string, no matter who your QB is, you're probably going to take a step back. And so that would be the thing. You don't want Stetson Bennett to be your starting quarterback the entire season.
Yeah, Breeze, there has to be some concerns, right? Matt Stafford is 37 years old, and even though he's one of the toughest quarterbacks I've ever played against, when you have that back and you're 37 years old, that doesn't make for a good marriage, right? Because that back can stiffen up at any time. Now, if you're Sean McVay, you have to love your quarterback depth. You talked about it, Jimmy G. He's been a guy that's been a consummate pro. He's led the 49ers in the past, not only to a Super Bowl, but multiple NFC championship games. Stetson Bennett misses his rookie year, comes back last year, which kind of was like his rookie year, but it showed he's developed throughout the preseason. And I think there's something to be said that, to your point, Haley, Dresser Wynn is going to take majority of these snaps. So is there some concern about